I wrote this remark down this morning, and I just run through it. There must be a shift in the education system. There must be a shift. Otherwise, we lose our place forever. There must be a shift. A need to develop our own model of education, packaged to focus on addressing the issues that confront us in this part of the world, cannot be emphasized. We must have to develop our own model of education. We must have to move from certificate craze of education to contribution-driven kind of education. Everything living contributes to stay alive. You see this validated by the plant and animal kingdom existence cycle. You find the animal on their side producing carbon dioxide to the atmosphere. You find the plant taking that in to prepare their food and release them back to the atmosphere oxygen. And so it is for anything living. You stay alive by making contributions. Everything living contributes to stay alive. The question is, we agree with your qualification. Where is your contribution? That's a big question. I've never seen people like my own people who will go to read a course and not know why they're doing it. They won't know why. What's happening to you? I'm going to read, I'm going for masters in what? Yes. Okay, what do you intend to do with it? Just to have masters. Your life. 2 years. Uncalibrated. Wasted. It's only this part of the world you see that. I met one of my own people who was out here to do PhD in water engineering. And I said, come on now. What do you intend to do with it? What's your mission? Where are you making your contribution? He said, leadership. Is that water engineering leadership? I told him to start going home. I believe we must have to review our course content, make them relevant to industry, commerce, and the public sector. We must review. For the most part, we just stay with what the colonial masters left. We are so afraid to come outside. We are so afraid. So when Covenant was going to start, it was built on a drastic departure. Drastic departure. You can't discover new islands if you are not willing to lose sight of the shore. A drastic departure. Things are not working. Must we keep watching them? No. We must have to develop faster ways of learning, because time is fast running out on our generation as a people. Lest we suffer the extinction of the historical dinosaurs, we must develop faster ways of learning. I recently came up with a concept of modular writing. What I mean is, instead of having a chapter without head or tail for 25 pages, break it down to point. Readers want to take notes, so give them the notes. They won't have to scramble. Up until 1451, the Bible had no verses. But can you imagine, for God's sake, the book of Moses, from Genesis to Deuteronomy, no verse, no chapter? It makes learning disturbing. Can't make reference. That informs the modular concept I'm engaging in my latest materials. You check Treasures of Life, they're in modules. Modules, no chapter, nobody tie you to it. You can devise something that will help people. So when you get at it, you can paint the point. We're just coming out with a new book, Leadership Ideology, a Covenant Perspective. It's in modules. So you don't have to run around and read. I read a few things. Some of the materials I read, you will read 20 pages and have 5 points. The stories are too much. But what we need at the point, we must develop faster ways of learning. So without that, we run out of time. We run out of time in no time. It's time, I said here, to reconstruct our intellectual armory and take up intellectual arms that we turn educational institutions to solution centers. Solution centers, which government and industries will be consulting for solutions to the issues of concerns. I think by now we should understand that Africa has no political solution to our problems. No. It's time to seek the alternative. We must open up solution centers that will command the attention of the public and private institutions on various matters. Someone once said, the empires of the future shall not be built by stone walls, brick and mortar, or armored tanks. The empires of the future shall be empires of the mind. Because until something changes within us, nothing will change outside us. Sir, there is no software solution. We need to engage the brainware. We need hard brainware. Sir, we need it. I think our university should become like engineering workshops where we program and deprogram the intellectual content of young people for productive and value-adding life. And those who will not take technology today must end up on our base tomorrow, as we saw in that lecture. With glory to Jesus, there is zero foreign input in the funding of Covenant and Landmark University. Zero. We have been long intellectually apologetic enough. It's time to take full responsibility in addressing the issues confronting us as a people. The knowledge market is domiciled in the free trade zone of life. Every tested and proven knowledge product has a place there. Who will read it? The first is, have you written it? I can read what you have not written. Must anybody have to validate how you are solving your problems? They are not in your problem, you are in it. We came up with hard and fast rules to remodel the life of young people. It's not lack of education, but lack of the right kind of education. And it's paying off. These are the do's and the don'ts. The only time to get that done is when you are just growing up. Before the evil days come, you say, I have no pleasure in them. We must begin to educate our young people to see beyond themselves and to begin to see how to make the world a better place for all. This self-centeredness is ruining the world. I made this statement yesterday. We got in a lot of tributes from very humbling centers. None of them mentioned what he has. Who cares? It's a cup of tea. You drove a car. It's your fault. What is that doing for me? Did you pick me on the road when you met me? No. The world has nothing to reckon with you by what to have, but what to add. What are you adding? Wake up in the morning, go to bed in the night, nothing added as value. You should train them to a point where they begin to ask questions such as, what have I to offer to make life in my environment better? What do I have? And what can I do to alleviate the scourge of growing unemployment of young graduates? No one runs away from a problem to solve them. You confront them to solve them. Waiting never solves a problem. It's taking appropriate steps that do. I'm saying this to mean one thing. We need a repackaging of the content of educational program. We need a repackaging. For instance, by common sense, we know that knowledge is key to having our problem solved. You have a wristwatch problem. You don't go for a bicycle repairer. You look for someone with a working knowledge of repairing wristwatches. You want to make a dress, you don't go to a lumber. What do you call it? Okay, now listen. You don't go to carpenter. Because I'm here to be able to twist my tongue to the frequency you're operating on. You need a motor mechanic to fix your car. Not a bricklayer. So you find problems are ordained to be solved by knowledge. That's why universities are supposed to be problem-solving centers, where public, private, industry, commerce will be consulting for their issues. But is that what we have today? You don't look for a surveyor on your healthcare. You look for a medical doctor. So problem solving trace knowledge. Knowledge. And if universities are knowledge centers, then they should be problem solving centers. Not big grammar center, not propounding philosophies that don't fly. That's why I believe universities are positioned to provide intellectual solutions to issues of concern to government, commerce, and industry. We have the potentials. We're now to utilize the potentials. Without borrowing principles, that won't work. It's like specializing in winter dresses in Nigeria. You run bankrupt from the day you started. There's a wrong solution. Brought into the right place. So imported content can't help us. Imported content in the education system won't help us. Help me ring this to NUC, ring it to federal government. It won't help. It doesn't help. We were left to train to be workers, not leaders. And then we start all of that content, running with it. What then is the value of formal education and change of degrees that provide no solution? Nothing. Our forefathers, without any formal education, succeeded in providing solutions to their needs, including identifying crops for farming, knowing how to prepare food that is edible and healthy, invented their own farming implement, built their own weapons of war to defend their territories. We have a very rich culture. We shouldn't dump what we have or what they brought. Shouldn't. We must recognize that knowledge is a solution platform for all issues of life, whether as a nation, as individuals. Like the Bible will say, you will know the truth, and the truth will make you free. We must have therefore to review the content of our training package to address the needs of the hour in this part of the world. We have a very rich history of problem solving, as gallantly displayed by our forefathers. That was well said. We must therefore leverage on this to deal with issues confronting us from our intellectual armories, that is, our educational institutions. I still want to believe that providing indigenous solutions is the only way to go. And that without apology. All the animals in the wild provide their solutions where they are found. They don't get visas to travel. Yet, their kingdom keeps expanding. They solve their health problems where they were. Now, the slightest headache now, I'm going to Germany. You got to say, sit down, you can't go now. Till 10 years' time. You know why? The pressure on your finger has gone up. They say, it has started here, and it's ready here. Wait. It's marketing. Most of the time, common sense suspended. Common sense suspended. If you see the kind of training people are going for, you will laugh. Going for training on how to prepare tea. Tea that I prepare for myself all my life, reality for myself. Okay, would they put it in a tube? No. You now sit there and say, what happened? Well, just to let you know, the protocols of preparing tea and serving people in a conference, and serving people, we don't want, we don't watch. What we don't resist has a right to remain. And what we won't confront, we cannot conquer. It's time to take full-scale responsibility in reviewing our educational content so we can move forward. Every challenge of life, on the path of life, is a test that must be passed. To experience a change of class, that is a change of story. We have problems. There are challenges. We must quickly start looking for how to pass it. Passing the buck is not the way to go. Let each one take position. I believe what makes a great leader is not capacity, but capacity utilization. It's key to the future we desire. As you all know, no one can write tests on behalf of another, and no one can delegate another to write an exam for him. Everything that will secure one's change of story cannot be delegated. And this is what we have continued to do in this part of the world till date. Can I say this? 25 years running, we have not saw a power outage on this ground. 25 years. 25 years running, water has never dried up from our pipes. Who told you cannot be done? You can't be committed and not be creative. You can't be creative and not be productive. You can't be productive and not be successful at what you engage with. And you can't grow your success and not become impactful. It's time to develop indigenous solutions to our problems. Somebody from China will come and solve problem with power for you. How? The more you remain in it, the better for them. I'm saying to his glory, 25 years running, people who live here, there are people who have been here since that time. There is no one day that power went off, whether from main grid or minor grid. Power has been consistent. Today, Covenant University draws largely from the concept of unapologetic departure from traditional content of education to secure our place in the world of university education. We should be able to tell ourselves, look, you have what it takes to deal with this. We have what it takes to make Nigeria a great nation. And it's not just people in political leadership. It's much more people in educational institutions where solutions will be provided. Push it out. Let the people know we have thinking people in some quarters who are able to address issues on a consistent basis. Have columns, perhaps intellectual arms. Keep developing concepts and principles that they will be forced to listen to because the world is reading it and they know the world is reading it and will measure them on it. No sportsman can delegate his role in the field of sport. And a great coach never makes it a star. It's the commitment, the dedication, the determination of the player that determines who becomes a star. It's time for Africa to fly again. It's time for Africa to fly again. It's time for Africa to fly again. Now listen. It is by light and insight that men fly. Arise, shine, your light is come. And who are these that fly as a cloud? It's time to put on our wings and tell ourselves, no race or color or geographic location has the monopoly of knowledge. Knowledge creation is every human opportunity. You have an idea, bring it forth. Let's say you have tested the idea and now it has worked. We have never borrowed as a nation, as an institution. Mismanagement is behind uncontrollable, uncheckered debt. I brought out a data sometimes back, now it has improved. 449 billion naira is spent annually or monthly on recharge cards in Nigeria. Lose life. Where else you go? Don't think. I'll be very surprised if up to 20% of that is on business, but on pleasantries. We have waited enough and we have wasted enough. It's time to come away and begin to work at the changes we desire. Can I bring this up? And I hope I will not be stoned. In my view, Inaugural lecture should be a platform for dissemination of new solutions in one's field of study, and not rhetoric that we have in most part of the world. You have not found anything you are not qualified to present. It's what you have found that qualifies you to. You are inaugurating knowledge. You are inaugurating knowledge. They can't appoint you to present what you have not found. They can't say it's your turn. How can it be your turn when you are not found? You have to present what you have found, and you are still searching for it. So you are not qualified. So 4 points is enough. I found this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This will be the effect of it. It has been tested this way. I have this platform, reliable database. We should change the scenario, sir. So you are coming up, we know this man has found something to present. It should be a platform for presentation of new solutions to issues that impact on life. It should be a platform for a viable, proven, tested database on issues. Inaugural lecture should not be an applause-winning speeches, but referencing winning findings. He found this. He found this. This is the effect of it. We have engaged with it. In this part of the world, many, including those in academia, are being entertained by the sufferings of others and not committed to finding a way out for them. A number with potentials to solve problems have only continued to stare at them, stare at the problems, whenever made moves to solve them. Things must change, and we must be the one to effect the changes. Someone has said, you don't do nothing just because you can do only a little. The little you can do can make a world of difference at the end. Thank you. Shall we stand to our feet? I have something to offer. Can I have someone say that? Because you do. You are created a contributor. You started contributing carbon dioxide from the day you were born. So you have the potentials of a contributor inside you. Can I have you say one more time, I have something to contribute? Living to myself will make me a slave. I have something in me that will add value to others. So help me, Lord. Thank you.